Instagram, I would like to introduce you to YouTube. YouTube, I want to introduce you to Instagram. We all one big family right now. Appreciate y'all being on. So we're going to be talking finance, and this is called hashtag man to man, you know what I'm saying? Because usually Shira's with me. But as I was just telling YouTube, Shire let me play with my friend and, said I could play with my guy friends today. So I'm going to be connected with Zay Matlock. I'm going to bring him in 1 second. But let me introduce Zay first, man. So Zay Matlock is a really cool cat that I follow here on Instagram. He has 2 different platforms, Debt Free and Fitness, that he has with his lovely wife. When they trying to get you to get your finances together and get your figure together, right? So that's kind of how I started following him. But then at the top of the year, he did another platform called First Gen Wealth Building, and we are all about that at Black Married Debt Free. So I'm gonna get Zay in here without further ado, and we just gonna chop it up. We gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about everything. We're talking about a little bit of everything. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Man, not too much, man. Glad to finally
connect, right?
Yeah, man.
I make it, man. I'm super hyped, man. Super hyped. When you reached out and said, matter of fact, when I asked for y'all to do the interview, you was like, let's do a guy chat. I said, oh, that's perfect, man. And then I was watching the Earn Your Leisure with, Trevor and Ian. I was like, oh man, I gotta be a part of that somehow, some way. So when you said it, I said, oh.
So hey, man, I was just kind of introducing. I don't know if you saw that. I was trying to, introduce you. So I'm simulcasting on YouTube as well. So I told them, any questions, go ahead and let us know. First of all, if you could kind of tell my viewers and listeners a little bit, what made you start your IG and kind of like a little bit of your background. I know it's probably an in-depth story, but yeah.
No, all right. So I'll try to, keep it brief so that way we can get into the goods. But man, just some context. My background. Let's see, it was it all started in 2017, man. I had, at the time I had spent some time at Geico, and then I left and went to Capital One and got a significant raise. And with that money, I went to school for finance, so I thought I knew what I was doing with finance. I was like, oh, I budget, I can move stuff around. I'm counting money that I didn't make yet. And that was a bad mistake. So, going into early 2018, in DC, they just built the new MGM. I had a little extra float money, so I would go in every now and then, try to make, a couple, quick flip. That just, led me down a rabbit hole to where I built up more debt on top of student loans, and I was like, all right, this quick flip ain't happening. I'm losing too much money. So after that, I was like, all right, I got to figure this out. So I read the book, Your Money in Your Life, at around October, November of 2018. And prior to that, in September, I had gotten engaged to my now wife. So all of that, I was like, all right, if I'm about to start a family, I got to get this together. There's no way I could buy a house, start a family if I'm out here doing all of this. So then, I read that book and I was like, all right, cool. Then about December 2018, we started our Instagram, and the whole, debt-free community got turned on to like Dave Ramsey. And then from there, it just kind of snowballed into, finding different people who, were in the personal finance space, but looked like us. And that was, and to be 100, you guys were like one of the first people I found. I was like, I'm listening to y'all podcast. I'm always to tell you all the time, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm in the car with y'all. I love the music. Everything's my vibe right here. Right. So, and that's just kind of how things got rolling. After that, December we paid my wife car off, and then all 2019, because that's the year we got married. We was paying off debt, saving for the wedding, and ever since then, man, it's been a blessing. When you do right by your money, what our guy George say, if you treat your money right, your money will treat you right.
That's real.
That's pretty much my background, man. That's how the Instagram got started. I just wanted to share that journey, be open about my failures, my mistakes, and just, teach others from from my past mistakes. I had a lot of mentors, and the one thing they always made me promise was, make sure, what I pour into you, you have to pour into the next generation and those. And so whatever you learn, you got to make sure you keep passing it down. And so I always made that promise to my mentors to do the same thing. And so I was like, if I'm open about what I'm struggling with, people gonna hold me accountable, and then I can't be slacking no more. So that's how it all began, man.
Yeah, hey, that's real. And I love, how you guys married you and your lovely wife, how you guys married the fitness side and the financial thing. Cause like, it's somebody who said like, when you start doing, handling your money, well, now you want to be here to actually enjoy that. You don't want to be sick or, out of shape and all this stuff. So like, how'd you get into the fitness thing? Is that something that you all naturally just been into?
Yeah. Okay. So funny story, right? Fitness. So my fitness journey started actually in 2014, while back. And, really, I think that just started because a close group of my friends, man, they were all gym heads. And I was like any guy in the group, man. I was like, I can't be hanging around all these buff dudes, man. Like, it's not cool, yo. Like, man, fuck this, man. I'm gonna get in the gym. I tried this like workout routine. It was like 12 weeks, man. And at that time I was still single, so I was living by myself. And I went on a strict diet, and it was a 12-week program. And after that, it just built into a habit of going to the gym. And funny thing is, I met my wife at the gym. So I met her in 2015. We met at the gym, and that's just always been like at the center of our relationship, fitness. So before we got into talking about finances and all that stuff, we were always like going to the gym. I mean, before we even went on our first date, we worked out for like 2 weeks straight, seeing each other like sweaty, like all that good stuff. So it was like, when we went out, it was like, oh, she cleaned up real good.
So the chemistry was already there.
Easy, man. It was so easy because it was kind of like we went on like 10 mini dates, just going to the gym and, talking and all of that stuff. So that's really how the fitness started, man. Just me having a group of friends who were really big into it. They inspired me to get fit. And then after that, just maintaining that lifestyle, man. One of the things I always said is that, as we get older, we got to take care of our bodies. Like you were saying, you want to make sure, that when we get older, the money we have, we can enjoy it. So, I just want to be around for a long time. And so, fitness was really big for me. Now, as far as eating clean, that's where my wife come in. She's handle all, she keep the boy healthy and all that good stuff. That's where she really helped pick me up. I already had the fitness part as far as just working out, but my, eating right and all that. Nah, that wasn't for me. But that's how we got into fitness, man.
That's what's up, man. I always check y'all out, and I'm like, man, I'm a skinny dude, Zay, and I want to, I've always wanted to buff up a little bit, but y'all make me want to get into it, man. So I like to hop on.
All you gotta do is start with some push-ups, man. Especially with quarantine, it's. I almost feel like I'm in better shape during this quarantine than when I was going to the gym. Like I've run way more than I've never been a runner. The fact that I'm running, 2-3 miles, 5 miles now, I can't believe it myself. But I'm feeling, better. Like this quarantine definitely like got me in shape. I don't even know if I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go back to the gym. I miss the gym, man. This, the whole stuff getting by, but Lord, I do miss the gym. But yeah, man, and that's what we try to do. Health is wealth. Like you said, the number one thing is, you gotta take care of your health, because as we know, when we retire and later on in life, the number one cause for most retired people is health care. So if you take care of your health, you be all right. You ain't got nothing about. You can really enjoy your money then.
Exactly. So Zay, man, the main thing I'm excited about and seeing what y'all doing is when you started the first gen wealth building platform. Like, what made you do that? It's like that speaks to so many of us. Like, people who listen, me, myself, we're all kind of like that first gen it's clicking in our minds. Like, okay, there's more than just kind of get by. We can experience in this wealth game. So, what made you do that platform?
Man, you know what? What made me start that is actually George. Hope George is tuned in. Shout out to George Pitts. Make sure my guy, big bro. So I was talking to George one day, and George is all about monetizing, niche down, find your lane. He did a live one day. He was talking about how certain people are assigned to you, and they're not going to make a move until you talk. You just got to figure out who your audience is. Like, look at yourself. What are your unique characteristics? Find out like what's that missing gap out there, and see how can you fill it. And I noticed that in our community, we always talk about building wealth and we should be doing it. But for, when I talk to a lot of us, we like, we starting it, so many things we don't know because it wasn't really talked about. And I was like, you know what? First generation, like we first generation wealth builders, like as first gen wealth builders, we need to talk about it more because clearly our family ain't talking about it. So we need to talk to about it. And I was just like, let's break that stereotype that we can't build wealth and that it's going to start with us. And so that was what really made me want to start this platform, is to just reach people like us that it's like, look, we're in a better position now. We're making a little bit of money. We want to do right by it, but we're not really sure how to do right by it, and we really don't have anybody to talk to. So I felt like, look, let's put this platform out there and let's connect with other first generation wealth builders, and let's start talking about, like, how are you building wealth? What's your way? Or what questions do you have about building wealth? Like, let's share strategies. And once we set that first in place, now we can continue to build it, and it can go to the second generation and third generation, and it just goes on and on and on. And like you said, I just figured that it would resonate with a lot of guys. Like, a lot of my close friends are first generation wealth builders. A lot of people that I know are just, in that same boat. And I was like, man, I don't really, like, we talk about it, but it's not really addressed, And so I, like, put it out there, like, yes, we are first gen wealth builders and we doing it.
And you know what, Zay, I like that, because with us, I feel like it's two things. When you see people talk about money in our community, it's either it's a flex, or it's either I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to know my business. But when you create platforms like this and create conversations like this, it's healthy. It's like, no, we're sharing this to boost each other up and to give each other ideas and strategies. And I think, like, that's another reason why I wanted to hop on this live, because that conversation needs to be had, man. It's not a flex when you share your successes, or it's not something that we should just hide to ourselves. Like, I don't want nobody to know my business. No, because you can put in the next generation, and like we always say, our kids is going to become more part of their upbringing, because we're having these conversations. We're creating YouTube videos, and they're seeing this, and they're soaking it all up. And so their generation is going to be like, okay, this is just a thing we do. We build.
Right. It's normal. It's going to be normal for our kids, because when we look at other communities, it's normal for them. That's what they do at the dinner table. That's what they talk about. That's the conversations that they have, and it's completely normal. And like you said, man, to have, to put that out there and start creating that conversation and make it normal for us. On top of that, it's like you said, I want to see everybody win. I want us to get money together. I'm not trying to be selfish, because the more people we got putting money in, we all gonna get more money.
yeah, that's it, man. That's so true. So now I'm noticing on your stories, I'm seeing a lot of invested, man. I'm seeing a lot of you watching the market and everything. So tell me a little bit about what's your strategy, some strategies you're using to build wealth. And I mean, that stuff excites me, man.
Good. So yeah, I want to hear about y'all too, because I got real estate questions. So like you said, so stock market. I've always been interested in the stock market. And more recently, I've been getting into options trading. I had a few buddies that they tried to get me onto it early, but it was so complicated. I mean, when you start talking about all these crazy strategies and stuff of like butterfly spreads and iron candles and all that, I was like, I just need something simple. So I was like, if I think the price of something is going to go up, what's something simple? And so that brought me to call options, right? And so what I've been doing is just studying the whole options contract. So just to kind of explain a little bit of it. So for people who don't know what an option contract is, what it does, it either gives you, the buyer of that contract, it either gives you the right to buy 100 shares of the stock, or you can sell 100 shares. So it's basically giving you ownership of 100 shares of a particular stock. And with that, you can say, okay, I think the price is going to go up, and so I, want to own this contract at this certain price. So I'm gonna talk about a live trade that I'm in right now. So I bought a contract on MGM, and I bought it early May. So at that point in time, it was trading at like $13. And I said, I'm looking at, I watch CNBC all the time. I be trying to post and, looking at the market. And I was like, I think that, stuff that they about to start opening back up.
Right.
Memorial Day is coming. People are tired of being in the house as much as we should be in the house. Some people are like, I can't wait to get out.
Right.
When we look at the news, you see like people are like bumping the guidelines. They don't care. So I said, all right, I think when Vegas open, people ready to gamble. And then you got people who love to gamble that haven't been able to gamble in 2 months. They've been saving. They ready.
Right.
They're like, oh, I got all this money. I'm going to the table. I'm putting it all on black. We rolling. So I said, all right, I think these prices are gonna go up. So what I did was I talked to a friend and I bought a contract. Now, when you buy options contracts, they have expiration dates. And so what that means is by that date, the owner of that contract can either exercise their option to either sell the contract and somebody else can exercise their right to buy the 100 shares at a certain price, or it just expires. And I bought a contract for June 19th. I said by June 19th, I think MGM stock price could be at least $15. I was kind of conservative. I was like, I think it's at like $18 today. So I was like, for my first trade, I'm gonna go a little conservative. And so what you do is you pay a premium. Now the premium on that contract, it depends. It might be like 80 cents. It could be $1, but you have to multiply that by 100 because you're getting 100 shares. So if it was like $1, you basically pay $100 to own that contract. And then as the price, as this underlying asset goes up and down, you either can lose money or you can make money. The thing I like about contracts is that your loss is capped. So, if it goes down, the most I lost would have been $100. You know what I'm saying? So you can kind of minimize risk, is what I would say. But if the price goes up, I have unlimited potential for profit.
Wow.
As long as I sell it before the expiration date. So I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. So I was like, just with that basic knowledge, I said, okay, I think I can do this. Previous to that, I've done a couple of courses, learning how to read like technical indicators and charts and stuff like that, because I wanted to like day trade, but this was, before I got into understanding, like you need a foundation. And again, when I was trying to make that quick flip, I was just trying to get the quick money. So I was like, man, I'm trying to put money away and I'm buying courses and stuff to get the quick flip. But now it's actually paying off. And so I bought the contract, and right now it's doing really well, man. So what I'm trying to do is learn more about it so I can really, speak more to it and really, put some content out on it about it. A few people have asked me, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just tell y'all all I do is all options, because that's all I know. Don't ask me about no crazy strategies. I'm gonna tell you like, if you like a stock and you don't have enough money to buy it, but you think the price is gonna go up, maybe look at trading an options contract, because you can get in the game at a much cheaper price. You know what I'm saying? And so, outside of options, other than that, just building a long-term portfolio, man. Trying to diversify, thinking about the future. So every month, me and my wife, we have an investing plan where we put money to the side to invest. And every month I watch the market, and, I just try to, be strategic. So, we've talked about dollar cost averaging before, and I watched a video and the guy said, don't time the market, but you can time your contribution. I thought that was pretty dope. So he was like, going to invest every month, at least try to pick the best time to invest during that month. It's time in the market, but at the same time, you invest every month, so you're not really timing the market. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try that. So, right, it makes sense, right? I was like, that's pretty dope. So outside of that, bro, we just, we have, like a 401k, IRAs, straight index funds. We want to go around with that. That's nest egg. Keep that simple. In our brokerage portfolio, wifey lets me be a little bit more risk adverse, but I don't like invest in no crazy risky companies. It's straight S&P 500 top companies. Like right now, I think we got some Boeing, Disney. I mean, it was stocks on sale, so I was loading up. So I was like, I'm gonna get all the good stuff that I've been waiting on. I'm gonna just start loading up. I picked a sector, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna buy in on this. So that's pretty much our strategy right now, bro. We just focusing on the 401k, the retirement accounts, building a nice little brokerage account, while still, trying to knock out the rest of this student loan debt.
And like you said, people ask, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? It's like, hey, I do this one thing, but this is the thing I'm focusing on. You know what I'm saying? And really all you got to do is find your niche, like you said, so I think that's dope, man.
Yeah, so you got to tell me about y'all strategy.
So we sold our primary residence. So we had our condominium. We bought our condominium in 2009, and we got that thing today. So we live in Sacramento, which is like an hour outside of the Bay Area.
Right.
So prices they're high, but they're not Bay Area high.
Crash too.
Yeah, it was right around the crash. So we got that thing, man. It was a 3-bed, 3-bath. We got it for $86,000. Crazy, man. Crazy.
California.
Yeah. So, we got 30-year loan. We was just young, our first house, whatever. We was like, hey, we're going to do the minimum. And then around probably 2015, we started thinking like, man, if it's so low, we could just kind of knock this out. And that was the only goal, was like, we wanted to pay it off. We wanted to pay everything off. So 2017 rolls around, we pay off our condos, my wife's student loans, everything. And then from 2009, 2019, man, the market just ballooned. So we was like, man, this house is worth something. Then at that point, it was worth $250. And we was like, we always said if it's worth $250, we may make a move. But we said, well, instead of selling it and just having the cash and like, what do we do? We was like, let's just take out a home equity line of credit for part of the, tap into some of the equity, and then just get a rental cash. So that's the first thing we did. We got a flip that was already flipped. So we couldn't do the BRRRR strategy. I don't know if you're familiar with that, where you buy. Right. So you buy something that's below market value that needs work, you fix it up, and then you rent it out. Yep. And then do a cash out refi. And pretty much when it works, if you do the numbers right, you did it for no money out of pocket. So we didn't. We were kind of just like, I just buy cash, which helped with our negotiating the price down. But we were happy about the house. It was in another state, so we was like, we don't want to be dealing with no flip. This is the first thing first real estate we've ever done. So the numbers made sense, and so we were like, let's just do it. And so then we wanted to do another one, but we had really tapped into all that equity. So we said, well, let's pay it down. We paid it down and kind of built that line of credit up again. So we had enough to go get another one. So then we had two, and they were cash flowing, which was what you want. And so that was kind of our long-term thing. But we were like tapped out as far as resources. Right. So, simultaneously we're investing in index funds, 401, Roth as well. And so late last year, the condominium market in our area started to kind of dip because, HOAs were going up. So with that, we saw our value going down. So we was like, you know what, we should probably go ahead and really sell this now. And so when we did that, we paid off, the line of credit is a line item in your HUD doc. So now one of our homes paid off, and another one is around probably 40% paid off.
How'd y'all go about picking a place out of state? Because I'm really interested in that, because we live in DC. The California is expensive. It's expensive. So, I'm like, I can't really do the rental thing here because it's crazy. So how did y'all go about finding an area, where y'all could, rent out of state, but was a good area? Like, kind of walk me through that a little bit, or explain that to the people as well. Oh, look, that was actually one of the questions. How did you find property managers in North Carolina?
Cool. Yeah. So it was real organic how we did it. We knew we couldn't invest in Cali. Okay. So we began to look. I had a friend that lived in Tennessee. So we just began looking at different markets just at random. Okay. So we kind of follow this thing called the 1% rule. And this is like when you don't want to really get into the minutia of the numbers, but you just want to know, like, is this a decent area? So essentially, if you get a house for around $100,000, with the 1% rule, you want to be able to collect at least $1,000 rent. You know what I'm saying, per month. So if that is a roundabout, then you could dig a little deeper, and that's a decent return. So we were kind of using that principle and just bouncing it off different areas. So my friend lived in Tennessee. I said, man, got some boots on the ground. Maybe he could go take a look at a house. And so we were looking there. He ups and moves to Charlotte. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, Charlotte, North Carolina, huh? He's like, man, there's some nice houses out here. So we're looking, and I don't know if you know the market out there, but it's turning into California, East Coast.
It is. North Carolina, especially around that Charlotte area, it's pretty popular. Pretty popular. Yeah. Because it's on the rise, man. I got a boy down there too, and he showed me his house and what he paid, and I'm like, what?
Right.
Bro, I paid more for my townhouse than you did your folks, 4-bedroom house with a big old yard. I'm like, damn, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's a trip. So we was like, it would be a great place for us to live. But as far as the ROI on an investment property, we was like, probably wouldn't cash flow a lot, or we would have to just pay a lot more than we wanted to. Right. So we started looking at, Raleigh is the second largest city. Mm-hmm. The market very similar. So we said, well, what's the third largest? Greensboro. So we was like, Greensboro, okay, yeah, that looks kind of good. We looked in some South Carolina too, but Greensboro just felt right, man. So the first thing you want to do is they say you want to build your core four. So wherever you want to be, you want to get your real estate agent, you want to get a property manager, a contractor, and your lender. So really, you want those four. That's all you need. And if you get one superstar out of those four, they'll find the other three for you. Right. So we called around realtor first, and I found a superstar real estate agent. He said, I know some property managers, he knew contractors, and he just kind of went above and beyond. So it really made it, seamless for us. But it's just kind of picking a state and running the numbers. What do the homes look like? Okay, I want a three-bed, two-bath. What are the 3-bed, 2-baths running for? How much, kind of rent can I get? Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of different ways you can do it. We use just the HUD fair market rent to see what 3.2s get in this area. And that'll kind of give you a general idea, and then you can run your ROI from there. Okay, I'm paying X amount for the home. And your ROI doesn't have to be as high if you're doing a buying home. Right. Because you're not looking to flip your money. It's long term.
Because that's so buying the home, right?
Yeah. So it's worked out for us, Zay, and that's why I haven't really got really into the single stock game and the options and stuff, because I think like for the market portion of our portfolio, we just gonna index fund, and just kind of.
Yeah, that's why what I'm trying to do is use that investing money to build up the money, the rental properties, And some people do a flip flop. They'll do real estate first, and the cash flow they invest. Yeah. So.
And it's crazy because we talk to a lot of investors, and they do a lot of flipping, and they do a lot of wholesaling and different things. And their goal is to buy and hold. And we just kind of started there, right. Which really has been a blessing for us, because we didn't know any better. We were just like, this is what people do, I guess. But really, like you said, people build up to get to that. And so we kind of just dove in there, and it's been great, because now the house that was paid off with us selling our home, now it's cash flowing. So we've been able to build. And by the end of this year, we're going to get another one. And we plan to do that, one a year, till we get 10 or so. And then
did y'all have to use conventional loans, or did y'all use because I know you used the home equity line to probably do the down payment, but did y'all have to do a loan on them, or?
Yeah. So on the first one, we used the HELOC to pay it all cash.
Oh.
Yeah. So no loan, we just paid it out cash. Which, if I could do it back over again, I wouldn't have done that. I would have did the conventional, because on house number 2, we went conventional 20% down. And as long as the numbers make sense and it cash flows, it's good. It's good. So we did that on the second house, and with the cash flow, we just throwing it back on the house. So we'll actually cut probably 10 to 15 years off the loan if we just keep it as is. But as it bonuses and different things, we end up throwing it on there. So it's working out, man.
Dang, yeah. See, now I got all that in my head. I need to get a piece of paper and write it down. Yeah, that 1% rule is pretty clutch too, because I like that. My wife, she went to college in Ohio, And
Okay.
Ohio is, you get some good, it's cheap properties.
Yeah.
Get some fair market value rent there too. So that's
Ohio. I have a boy live in Toledo, and we looked in Ohio. The only thing was the cold kind of scared us off. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't deal with the cold. You know what I mean?
I tell you, yeah, that's why DC was as far as north as I was going.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think we got a couple of questions. So somebody put advice for finding a fiduciary financial advisor. That's really good. You want to take that one first?
That's a good one. We actually wanted to interview a fiduciary licensed financial advisor for our podcast, and I put a shout out on my social media platform. I got crickets, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know if a lot of people are just like, I don't know. I don't know where they're hiding at, but that's actually a really great question.
Yeah. So I mean, so I know a few financial advisors. I'm not sure if they are fiduciary, but I do know that there's a website, and I will probably have to look that up. But there's a website. I think I read it in a book. I'm not sure which book I read it in, but you can go on this website, and it gives you a list of where you can find a bunch of fiduciary financial advisors. And for those who don't know, those are financial advisors who don't make money off commissions. They basically are like, look, you pay me a fee and I advise you. They have no incentive to push any type of product or push any investment on you, because they're getting paid for their time versus how well your portfolio does or how well they manage your money for you. And I'm not sure if you would if you've read this as well or seen it anywhere, but I've always been told that if you're going to get a financial advisor, you should go the fiduciary route.
Essentially, they have your best interest in mind. So it's not, they're not in it for them. It's funny though, Zach, because I follow Amon Christina Arvis Journey, and so they're the gold standard as far as fire and stuff. And it was funny, they were kind of breaking down the fiduciary, and the way they kind of like, well, it's there and they have your best interest at heart, but it's like, it's kind of like, it's their word, you know what I mean? So that's one thing I would say, but you're better off finding a fiduciary, someone who technically is supposed to have your best interest at heart, than someone who's just an advisor. Because like you said, they get commissions, and if I sell you this, so definitely want to keep that in mind. All
right, so another gentleman said, is cash out refi a different type of refi, or is it just a refi? And then he said, can it be a HELOC?
Yeah, so great question. So a home equity line of credit is essentially something that you can tap into. You can pay it back. You can tap into it. So it's essentially think of it like a credit card. That you can swipe. You don't have to spend it all. So if you get a line of credit for $100,000, you can take $10,000 and invest in this and pay that back at your leisure. And then you can, not at your leisure. Usually it's 20 years, 10-year, 20-year. And then you can take the $50,000 from it and invest in something else. So it's a line of credit that you can tap into and pay back. Where a cash out refi is, they cut you a check right then, and so you start paying back on day of the day they cut the check. Then the clock starts for the paybacks. That's the thing.
Then this one right here will be a good one. They say, why do y'all think it takes people so long to get this mindset on investing, rental properties, etc.? Oh, I was hoping we were gonna get to that. That's where it all starts. So why does it take people so long to get that mindset? Man, why does it take people so long to get that mindset?